Oh yeah, that's the one. That's the one,
That's
right
the
there.
one. He who fails to prepare prepares to fail. And
That's the one.
that's what's going on right now.
That's the one
That's
right
exactly
there.
what's going on right now.
That's the one.
Okay? That's what's going on right now. Uh but we are prepared. We are here. We are anti-failure. We're making it happen, and we're gonna play this music right here. Get everything started. Woo-hoo. Yes. Yes, everybody. You've reached us. We're going live. This is the Basement Debates live with Bruce Lively, and we got
D-Boy
as a
Slim.
special guest. Say it again, man.
And of course, I'm D-Boy Slim.
D Boy Slim, man. The original, right? The one
Yeah,
and
I'm your
only.
regular. I'm a regular host, man. I'm not a special
It's
guest.
the special. Well, you're a special guest now, cause you're so
Nah, I'm
busy
not a
these
special.
days.
Not a special. It's nothing special about the regular host.
You're so busy these days, man. We can't find you, bro. We can't find you.
Nah,
The people been asking for you. The people have been asking for you, sir. And I'm just, all I
don't
can
let this guy. Don't let this guy fool you.
all I can tell him is, we're not that special to get D Boy every time. Like he's a special one. He's a special
America, don't let this guy fool you. Yeah, this guy,
one.
out of trickery. Out of trickery. But we're not going to go over trickery. We're going over coonery.
We're going over coonery today. Cheers, everybody. Welcome to the Basement Debates. Once again, I'm Bruce Lively, and this will be a very special live one because we're talking about. Let's get quiet.
First of all, congratulations to the president-elect.
Congratulations to Biden, to Harris, to Kamala Harris,
Facts.
the
Facts.
first female vice president, the first black vice president, the first, I think Asian as well, vice president. So, I mean, it's ticking a lot of boxes there and a lot of firsts and well deserved. Well deserved. I don't think that they were the best candidates, and I'm sure a lot of people who watch this site may feel the same. I think I would have rather this person or that person, but one thing I do know is we can't keep Trump in there. Anybody that we picked is better than Trump.
Now, I think America spoke on a whole, and I think they spoke in volumes. I don't think it was a white thing. I don't think it was a black thing. I don't think it was a Democrat thing. I don't think it was a Republican thing, excuse me. I think that for once America spoke, and they spoke about getting the country back on track seriously. And a lot of people campaign that. That's a lot of people's, catchphrase. Mr. Trump, he campaigned that his last term, make America great again. Well, he did nothing of the sort. As a matter of fact, I think he took America back a few steps. And,
Yeah.
It's our job now and our responsibility to clean it up and try to move forward and get this thing going back in the right direction. And I do believe the president-elect and his, as you mentioned, his vice president should be able to get that done.
Real quick, let's give a shout out to everybody who's here now. Marion Appiah, what's good, man? Calamite, good to see you back again, brother. And MC Cowan III, or McCowan the Third. I'm sorry, MC. McCowan the Third, man. Listen, let's get to the real point of the situation. Let's get to the actual point of the situation. I disagree that it wasn't a white or black thing because I want to make everybody know and remind everybody that black folks saved the democracy this election season. Because 71 or 70 million people, that's more than in 2016, voted for Trump. Voted for 4 more years. We're okay enough with everything that was going on, that they were willing to go and vote for sometimes the first time in their life for Trump. All of the places that brought it over the line were black areas. Black areas because black women have been campaigning on foot for 4 years, getting out the black vote, getting people registered, getting black people interested again, right? And because of that work, because of the amount of black people that turned out in the all black areas, Biden eked it out by a few million. Thank you, America. We did it again. This time, I don't want to be to the back of the line when it comes to what's talked about during the debates. I don't want to go back to the back of the line when it comes to how this money is getting delved out for the next fiscal year. I just want that to be known that we now have to get something for what we've done, and that brings us to the point. There are some black entertainers who've decided that instead of gaining something for the black community, or for America, period, that may help everybody, the poor community, they've decided that they would rather have voted for Trump than lose a couple tax dollars. 50 Cent decided Trump and his dollars were worth more than you as the community. Lil Wayne decided a long time ago that he wasn't going to get political, and Black Lives Matter didn't mean anything to him. As a matter of fact, he cussed out the lady who asked him about it, and his exact words were, "I don't know what that is, and it sounds weird to me." And if you care about something,
my life means something, especially to my bitches.
That's what he said. That's what he said. He said, I'm a rich black man, and if you don't think racism is gone in America, then you don't know what's going on. But then he asked the lady, he said, if you don't think that if you think that you should be involved in something that doesn't matter to you or that doesn't affect you, you're stupid. And not the camera, you, lady, is what he told that black woman asking him questions like a reporter should. How disrespectful he was when he said it. I noticed this. And we've kind of just gone all over the place, but we're going to start with Wayne, obviously. I noticed this because when he went on Undisputed with Skip and Shannon, Skip Bayless, the white man, asked him the exact same question. And he didn't yell, he didn't point at him, he didn't call him an idiot or stupid. He was humble, and he said, I know there's different sides to all the stories, and I just feel like when I'm on stage, and he turned into Herbert Menninger. He turned into the most decent and calm black man you've ever seen on TV. It's funny how he responded to Skip Bayless, and it's funny in his reaction to the black woman who asked him the exact same question. Any comments on this guy, D-Boy Slim? Oh, no. What's going on? Did we lose D-Boy? Did you hear everything I said, D-Boy?
You were breaking up a little bit, but I caught most of it.
All right. Go ahead, man. Your response. Lil Wayne first. We'll get to 50. Lil Wayne, the whole thing, Trump, all of that. Give me what you got, man.
Here's my thing with Lil Wayne. Here's my take on it. What I've noticed with Lil Wayne as it comes to social issues, political issues, black issues, whatever the consensus seems to be as far as Lil Wayne whatever the consensus seems to be in the country at any particular time as far as black people banding together for a particular issue that indirectly or directly has to do with black people and the inequality or injustice or just blatant racism.
Mm-hmm.
I noticed that Lil Wayne, instead of agreeing or saying yes, I'm with the cause, always elects to go the opposite direction of that, which is the consensus of black people at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure if that's because of his wealth and financial state, or just his for lack of better terms, just his care less, nonchalant. Maybe he can care less about the issues at hand. He feels like he has his money. He's beyond that point in his life, and maybe he just, or maybe he's just misinformed as to what actually is going on, what kind of impact that he can make, and what kind of influence that he has with the brand and the platform that he has.
Listen, the
So,
idea that I feel
but
you on that, but it's an education lost. He didn't go to school. He raised in the rap game with a bunch of people throwing money at him for rapping. So he never
well,
really.
now that's not an excuse. And Lil Wayne did go to school.
No, no,
I believe for like a year or two,
that's
but he
fine.
did go to school.
Yeah, but I mean, all I'm saying is when you're taking out when you've been removed from real life and having that continuous uh, want for knowledge, want for education, wanting to go learn more, find out more. There's people who've been raised and coddled their whole life who still find it necessary to go and learn, to go and listen, to read a book. He never had that, never wanted it. And so what happens is he's raised as someone with a lot of money, with little schooling, and absolutely no affiliation to the people who made him who he is. No affiliation to the people who made him who he is. One day he's this, the next day he's blood. Next day he's over here. He really, I mean, it goes so much to show that even his girlfriend, who happened to be white, when she saw that he was going for Trump, left him. She cares more about his cause, our cause, than he does.
Yeah, I just think, when it's all said and done, and at the end of the day, when you look back on somebody like Lil Wayne's career and where does he stand, I think that weighs heavy, because of the fact that you're in a position and you have the opportunity to speak, and people are listening. And you, like I said, for whatever reason, he just chooses to go left of what we all know to be, what's right in the country, what's important in the country, especially to us and our youth, our young black children. I find it ironic that he has a record label named Young Money, and you know, when it comes to issues like George Floyd and Trayvon Martin, he undermines these things as if, like I said, or as you just mentioned, Bruce, he's either oblivious to what's actually what to the reality of that's our young black kids being shot down and being killed, in cold blood, or he just doesn't care. He just, plain out doesn't care. Whatever it may be, I'm just here to say, to me, when you start to wait, I say in contrast to somebody like Tupac and why Tupac is held in such high regard. If for whatever it's worth, people say a lot about Tupac, and there's an old saying like if you ask 10 different people about Tupac, you might get 10 different answers.
Mm-hmm.
But one thing that's for sure is that he stood by us and he stood with his people. He may have had, differences with, constituents or, other rappers and other artists and other people that was in the same genre. But as it came to issues, and he spoke on these things before it was even popular to speak on, or after the whole, him being raised up under Black Panthers, whatever, so on. I don't want to drag this out, but I'm just saying, in contrast to somebody like Lil Wayne, I could see why somebody like Tupac, 25, 30 years later, is held in such high regard beyond just the rapper and lyricist that he was. He spoke on a lot of these issues, and when he spoke on it, he articulated himself eloquently. He seemed like somebody that was knowledgeable, that was informed about our history, that was aware of what's going on in the community, and also, he spoke on strategies, and although sometimes Tupac would speak divisive and would speak about other people and other black people, whatever, he also spoke about uniting and us banding together, and how much stronger we are if as a people we stick together. So
Yeah.
I just said all that to say that's the opposite of what you hear out of somebody like Lil Wayne when you ask Lil Wayne about certain issues and things of this sort. So,
But it's more than that though. See, now I agree with you. You're 100% right. He just maybe just doesn't care, doesn't resonate with him. But it's more disheartening because of how he treated the black. The difference is you would never go to see Obama. You were apolitical in the Obama years. You absolutely abhor anything that has to do with politics and any question that you ever got about it. Until Trump. You actually blast on any black person who asked you about the BLM, who asked you about anything political. Except Skip Bayless? No. You see, it's a lot more than just not caring. There's a complex I see there. There's a white daddy complex that I see there. There's a complex of him continuously hating black women. Everybody knows my life matters, especially my bitches. That's him. But the only girlfriend he parades around is the white one, who dumps him after he goes to visit Trump. He knows nothing about politics or presidents until it's the guy who's actively working against black people daily. Then he can go to the White House and talk to him. There's a complex there with Lil Wayne that I think is worse than the other ones. Now, the other ones are just about their bag, and we can go there. And you guys comment. Let me know if I'm right about this. And let me know if you see that there's something else going on with Wayne besides not being knowledgeable or not caring enough. I think he has a worse complex. But let's talk about people like 50. Let's talk about people like 50, who basically was willing.
Get into 50. As a matter of fact, we could get into 50 and Ice Cube at the same time.
Let's do it.
Because to me, they all fall under the same umbrella.
I don't think so. We got to debate there.
They were duped and they were fooled. They thought, what was on the surface. And I don't know at this point how you could be fooled by Trump. To me, that's about as irresponsible as Lil Wayne, to be honest with you.
Yes.
And coming from somebody like Cube, who's been in the game since I was a little man, a kid, and 50 Cent, who's a few years older than me, I find that, like I said, I find that just to be very irresponsible that at this point that you actually believe and take Trump's word for face value and put some weight behind it and actually, give your support or lend your support and give endorsement to this guy. But what's also refreshing and where like I said, I don't think it was just black and white. I think it was just more wrong and right. And where a week later, the both of them jumped off a sinking ship. And so I found it very funny and ironic because as they realized that they were on a sinking ship, they jumped ship. They abandoned ship. And
all right. So let me tell you my difference between 50 and Kanye. And McCowan third.
You said Kanye? I said Cube.
No, Cube. I'm sorry, not Kanye. Ice Cube. You said Cube.
All right.
So let me tell you my difference.
Kanye, that's so show, bro.
Yeah, it's a whole nother show. We don't even need.
Kanye.
We're gonna talk about post. I don't know. He got problems. So, but listen, my main difference between 50 and Ice Cube, and McCowan third, someone even like Steve Harvey. 50 and Steve Harvey went to the president or acknowledged him for the single purpose of what can I get personally from you. Ice Cube had a plan about what can my people get from whoever comes first. The Democrats called him and they said, well, we'll wait till after the election because we're scared. As always, to talk about black people during an election because you know that we're trying to get those votes from the white folks. It's always scary. We're always on the back end, but he came there with a plan for us, not for him. What happened was the Democrats called, they said maybe later. Trump people called, they're in power, they said let's talk about it now. Now, we could go into the politics of it and the fact that the Platinum Plan has absolutely no teeth at all, that is not good at all, and if Ice Cube even was smart enough to realize that he was just being played for a promotional gig to get more black men to vote for Trump, definitely. But the difference is where his heart was, and it wasn't in the right place. He went there with a plan for us. Harvey, 50, Peep, they went to Trump with a plan for them. I don't want 63% of my taxes over $400,000 and only in capital gains to be taken from me. So I don't care about the rest of my people. I'm voting for Trump. Ice Cube never said he was voting for Trump. He said, whoever's in power, you're going to see me about this plan for black people. You know who gets the blame there? The Democrats. Because they had the chance to sign a plan. They had the chance to incorporate that into their platform, and they were scared, like they're scared now, of the Trump who's trying to sue the bejesus out of the election, just like they're scared now, and they let that go. What would it have been like to actually say to people, hey guys, look what we just did. We just met with Ice Cube and came up with an actual thing to plan to put in our platform. How would that have actually looked for Democrats? And instead, they always go weak sauce and they win by a couple million votes. And 70 million people on the other side still voted for Trump. So I don't put them in the same category at all. That he was used, yes. And he probably figured it out a little bit too late. But I don't think that was his purpose in putting the plan out there. The plan was for us, period. He makes enough money. And he didn't care about his taxes.
Putting stock in what Donald Trump says is like putting stock in what Tekashi says. Like I wouldn't put any weight behind what Trump says. And I was speaking more. Obviously, you're right. And the fundamental difference with those two, as far as 50 Cent and Ice Cube, their intent into why they endorsed Trump, I understand what you're saying. Nonetheless, you went to endorse Trump one week, and then the next week, you said enough is enough, and that's my whole point.
Yeah,
and both of those
true.
people being that the iconic figures that they are, I felt like should have known better in the first place. But nonetheless, and it, and that goes to Wayne too. Like you just feel like at this point, it's not Little Wayne anymore. He's not, a little man anymore. He's not. He's a grown man with a recording company and several artists and several different businesses, and you just feel like at this point, and you realize, I realize as time goes on, that the wealthiest person is not always the guy that makes the says the most intelligent things and even makes the most intelligent moves sometimes.
Yeah, the wealthiest person isn't always the smartest person.
Right.
Very likely, they're the dumbest person with the most charisma. A lot of times. Or the most skillful person. Like, if you're really good at singing, you can be wealthy. It doesn't matter how smart you are or what you think. The difference is most people of wealth find themselves in circles where education is appreciated. And they have to then learn how to mingle and mix amongst people who have some sort of and education, or political leanings start, especially when you get out there, when you start meeting with people like that, you change. Some of us just don't, though. Some of us just won't and don't. Lil Wayne, unfortunately, is a bad uh, a bad example of black maleness. Be honest with you, Lil Wayne is still Lil, still a boy, never grew up. He can make all the money in the world and will um, always be some white person's handbag. Uh, Always be on a bootlicker, and that's become more and more obvious to me with his recent comments, less recent comments, and him going to visit Trump with absolutely no plan in mind. Thank God his white girlfriend decided to dump him because of that. So it shows at least we have some allies. But if we're waiting on these people to help us, we'll be dead.
To be honest with you, that takes us, or that takes me into a deeper conversation that
Let's
I
do it.
wanted to get into, and that's just, you know, I want to first start by saying rest in peace, King Von, his family, condolences to the families that were, involved in the shooting and who died, and the ones who survived. Um,
Mm-hmm.
that just takes me into this subject of us as a culture, us as a people, and the things that we glorify, the things that we deem as cool, the things as us as elders and OGs and big homies, the things that we allow the youth to get away with and deem as cool, or you know glorifying gangster, that life and street life and things like that, like, and myself included. I know we spoke earlier off the air, and I was saying, we can't even speak on it without taking some type of responsibility and things that are going on and whatnot. But it's way heavy on my heart, and it's been on my mind lately. And I felt like we needed to speak on it, us having a platform that we do. Um, yeah, the thing that you just mentioned with Lil Wayne, like him never growing up, that I think that's a big problem. I think with us right now, like, you know, a lot of times, we speak on it here and there. Some people touch on it when the next person dies or this happens. We say, "Oh, we need to do this and that." But I just think in our everyday, you know, our everyday 1-2 and our regular, routines. I just think us as a people, we have to make an effort to try to do better across the board. Honestly speaking, and I mean, I think it starts with how we treat each other, how we speak to each other. I mean, I mean, because especially at a time like now where it's obvious, it's clear that us banding together as we were able to just get Trump out of office and get Biden in there and try to, again, as I said, get the country going back in the right direction. Um, I think it's very most important right now that, we that be the focus, and it gives us all the opportunity again to show strength as a people, to to be able to band together and to be able to stick together more so than we are killing each other. And I think the negativity, you know we're not all to blame, but we have to take responsibility. We have to take take accountability. um I know the news and outlets and all of the internet, it's always the negativity that grabs headlines and gets all the highlights. But I think we have to give them less content of that. And just us as a people, I'm speaking of.
I
But
agree. That's well said. Well said, sir. Let's think about this though. First of all, as well, R.I.P. Rest in peace. Condolences, all of that. King Voss, family members, everyone involved in that unfortunate situation. Um, did you know that there's more black people in college than in prison? You wouldn't know that. So when the mere fact that this is what gets publicized and this is what black
Right.
kids have to look up to is a problem simply because the media still, and when I say the media, including myself, because we are the media. This what we're doing is talking on a media form right now. You're looking at this, people, so I'm the media. But the owners, label owners, right? These people don't and I mean like the real label owners, the people who own the Warner Brothers, the Disneys that have all the other little labels that may look like they're owned by black people. They're all owned by people who are looking for the stereotype. So when that gets pushed, the best way to do it is to find people who are the stereotype. Now, I don't have a problem. I think it's necessary and important for people who are impoverished, for people without power, for people who are underserved to get a voice. So hip hop is important. You're gonna have the gang members. You're gonna have the drug dealers. You're gonna have people who live in this type of world talking about their story, and you need that. But what is being pushed as the only thing that you can listen to, thank God for
Facts.
YouTube, is the real problem.
Fact.
So to me,
Fact.
that's it. That's
Facts.
that's the problem. So King Voss, me being from Chicago, I know what King means.
Facts.
You're gonna know what he's gonna get into. They're gonna know what he's gonna get into. Now you have a choice once you get signed or once you get a little clout. You can either continue with the bull, or you can do like T.I. did and
You can steer the narrative.
Steer the narrative, move it a different way. Say, yeah, I used to be the trap boy, and now I'm just the guy that makes money and redistributes it to my community.
I'm marching in the streets when there's an injustice in our community.
When that becomes the narrative, when the people who made it from whatever situation they used to be in to becoming famous or rich or some type of where somewhere in between decide that that's what they want to use it for instead of continuing with the old foolishness that was going to either get them killed or in jail, then it will change. Until then, you can
and let me say this, Bruce, while you keep it right there. Let me say this. The people that are leading those type of movements, we have to stop killing them. We have to stop tearing them down. Now, I know T.I.'s been dragged around the last couple of days, and I would agree. What he said was out of line and was out of pocket.
Tell the people what he said.
What he mentioned about he says he wasn't talking about the incident, but I think everybody knows when he put out a tweet saying Atlanta is a beautiful place. Atlanta, black people in Atlanta are prospering and we're winning, and we don't want the drama and the beef in the city. And people that come to Atlanta or come to this city with beef, they need to keep it in their own city and kill each other or whatever, to that effect in their own city. I think that was very insensitive and out of pocket, and I would agree with anybody who says T.I. was wrong in that.
Why?
However, his whole body of work, his whole jacket doesn't suggest he's a malicious person, an unthoughtful, an insensitive person as far as black issues are concerned. Nothing suggests that. But this one time, I would say, yeah, he should have kept quiet. But I said all of that to say the people that are leading these movements, Nipsey Hussle, and then we kill them. They don't have the chance to be the leaders that they're trying to become, and that's more than anything. It has to stop. Like, we have to protect those. Hating on the next guy for what? If he's trying to do something positive, let's support it. Let's band together and let's get behind it.
I hear
especially
you.
When,
I hear you, McCowan the third. I hear you. I'm not going to repeat that on here, but I hear you. Calamite, I hear you, man. Sonia Core, I hear you. Who else joined in? BJ Holloman, I hear you, brother. All right, continue on. Sorry about that. Just shouting out to people who show us love, man.
Nah, but that's it in a nutshell.
So
The people,
this is my thing. I 100% agree. We've got to stop tearing down their people. Every time we get someone who's fighting for us or trying their hardest to use whatever little platform they have to work for us, we seem to find a way to hate on them, to find the one bad thing that they did and use it against them. And what it is, it's the same reason why people don't vote. It's the excuse. It's the laziness. If I have to listen to what this person says that's good, then that means I have to become accountable. But it's much easier to say, well, this person did this thing one time, so I'm not listening to him. I can go back to my basement. Both parties are the exact same. The voting doesn't matter. I can go back to my basement. And it's a way that we deflect accountability because the truth is, once we listen to someone like a Dr. King or a T.I., and I use those two people for a specific reason, I'm going to tell you in a second, it makes us have to either be accountable for being wrong or right. Dr. King made them march. If you want to be a part of this, you're going to have to do this. You're going to have to boycott. You're going to have to use whoever does have a car has to pick up the other black people who don't have a car because we're boycotting the buses this month. And if you're a part of it, you are. And so for you to agree with him means you have to act. T.I. says you cannot continue to kill black people. You cannot continue to do whatever you want, police officers, and not get something in return. You cannot do that. We can't continue to vote for people like Trump and not get some type of retaliation in return. In return, if you can destroy T.I., then that means you don't have to do anything about it. You don't have to do the retaliation that he's calling for. You don't have to meet him at Houston's to march for black people. You don't have to do those things anymore because you can say, oh, well, he used to be a bum anyway, so I'm not listening to that. And whenever something requires action of black people, we find a way to destroy the person who's telling us about it. Or the whole thing itself, i.e. voting. How many people told me both parties are the exact same, so that means don't vote? That doesn't mean that instead of it meaning go vote and then march and then ask questions and fight the person that you voted for every day to get what you want from him.
It's easier.
It's just easier to say not vote.
Non-action at all.
Exactly.
I agree 100%.
Period.
I agree 100%.
Calamite, I hear you, but I was just saying from the least to the most. Even if you're Martin Luther King, or if you're just, or if you're Cori Bush, who just got elected, who was a Justice Democrat, all she did was she was a small-time community organizer that ended up organizing the community such that she's now a senator. She's nothing special, but she required action of people who listened to her, and the people who tried to put her down were people who didn't want action. They just don't want to do the action. And so you find an excuse to hate on the black leader. But this 2021 coming up, yo, we're not doing that anymore, man.
We lost enough. We lost a lot of people in 2020.
It's time to rise. It's time to rise to meet the moment, black people. Those ladies who got the vote out, black people have saved this democracy. What now are we going to do with it? How are we going to continue to fight? How do we now rise to meet the moment? What do we demand of our entertainers? You see, you can go watch Jackass, that movie where all the white guys go and beat up their parents and ride around in shopping carts, and it's all fun and games and you look like an idiot, but they can afford to because they're in power. We can't afford to make a Jackass movie. We can't afford to make a Jackass song. We can't afford for our entertainers to be reckless in their humor or absolutely destroy us with their politics. We can't afford to do it, and we won't allow it. Not on this channel. And I hope we can rise to meet that moment as black people in 2021 and beyond. Go.
Speaking of music, give me 3 albums right now.
3
What
albums.
you listening to? Who's fire right now?
Oh man, let's start with Damani, man. Let's start with Damani, the T.I.'s kid. Everything
Yo,
I hear.
Bruce,
Go ahead.
let me say this. You put me on.
Get it out. Get it out.
A couple years ago.
Uh-huh.
I can honestly say that, like, I knew T.I. had a son named Damani, and that was about it.
Yeah.
But you put me on to the point where I knew that you could take this kid's music serious. Beyond him being, the son of T.I., I knew that he was serious. So you let me listen to a couple of songs, and I knew he was taking his craft serious.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
The point that he's at right now, I heard this song, like I said, I heard this song on T.I.'s album, fire. The kid is he's somebody to check for.
Every time.
The young kids coming up in hip hop.
No, he's somebody who studies the craft, and that's what we've been waiting on. He's someone who studies the craft, man. I gotta say that being able to rap is not just being able to put words together that rhyme. It's being able to make a statement with even the way that you rhyme, right? And so you find that people like Busta use his word. That's number 2 I'm listening to out of the 3. That new bus. He finds a way to use different syllables differently that affect you differently, different words that you hadn't heard before, a way to not rhyme at the end of a sentence. The whole thing. We can't go into that. We can another day. But using the way that you rhyme to be as effective as the rhymes themselves is when you know someone's studying, trying new things, practicing in front of the mirror, practicing in the studio, recording, deleting, and then re-recording a better way, writing, reading all the time. You know what I'm saying? You know that you can hear that when you listen to Damani. I've never heard a song that wasn't better than the last one. Period. Every time. Bus, that's my number 2. And I don't have a number 3 yet. I'll leave it right there. What about you?
First and foremost, I got
Griselda. Anything on Griselda, that's my number 3.
First and foremost, before we go any further, I gotta say Benny's Burden of Proof.
Yes. We're gonna review that, by the way. Wait, before you continue.
If y'all out there haven't checked that out, Benny the Butcher.
Before you continue, bro.
Make certain posts.
Before you continue, bro, we got to do this. I want you to get all of that out. So I got to say this first. Y'all, we're going to be doing album reviews. This entire channel, for people who are new here, you're seeing the Karen videos. Yes, we do that. This is a channel for hip-hop and politics. We find a way to blend them both. We got 25,000 views on a Karen video. We got other thousands on other Karen videos. So we're going to keep putting them out. But it's still political. It's still hip-hop. You're going to see the reviews. You're going to see the politics debates. And you're going to see hip-hop debates. That is what the channel is about. Go.
Benny, like I said, fire. The Burden of Proof. You haven't checked it out, check it out. Burden of Proof.
Okay.
For me, the second one is probably a toss-up. I know I haven't even dove in the bus yet, but the Nas and the Conway, the Machine, and the Nas is fire. I haven't heard a whole bunch.
I haven't even touched it yet.
But the Nas was fire. The reconnection with the Firm, AZ, Cormega, and the joint with Big Sean. He got the joint Spicy with Fabio Foreign, the young kid ASAP Ferg, the young kids. The Nas's joint was actually fire.
Okay.
And the Conway is once again Griselda. I'm not gonna say no more.
Conway, man, jeez. I heard a little bit of Conway. I haven't heard the Nas yet because I've kind of been waiting. Me and you, we're going to do the Basement Debates. We'll be doing an album review where we discuss and we debate the best and the worst points and where these things belong. Nas is coming up probably first, and then I'm gonna go to Benny the Butcher because I want something that we can debate on first, and I think both of us know where we fall with Benny the Butcher. Um,
3.
Third.
Third one has to be T.I. for me. I mean, we just talked about it. The song he got with his son Damani. He got another joint with Young Thug. He got a joint with and I say these because I like some may not like all the features, but I like how he's blending the young kids. Same thing Nas did, blending the young kids and giving that same energy, same flavor and whatnot of the youth today and what's modern and what's hip for today. And putting their who they are on it.
R.I.P. So, Big Mello.
You know, T.I.'s joint, he got a joint with Rick Ross, fire. Joint with Young Thug, fire. Joint with 21 Savage, fire. That's another one too. I don't want to get 4, but the 21 Savage project is pretty hard too.
All right, well, yeah, you got 4. Yeah, I hate when people say I don't want to. I don't want to get 4, but let me get 4 anyway.
That's for honorable mention.
Honorable mention.
21 Savage joint is hard too.
I think somebody said T.I. album is trash. Oh, wait a minute. Well, I have less to say about that. I haven't checked it out yet.
Wow.
But I will say Bust though. You know what Bust did? You can tell. He did what Griselda did. Griselda did more successfully though. Bust actually decided I'm going to purposefully go back. I'm not gonna play the beats with the heavy bass lines and the new Southern style. I'm not gonna do the trap. He purposefully went so far back it sounded like it could have been made in '96. And only because of his innovative style, while it still keeps it grounded in the era that we're in. Outstanding group of projects. I mean, outstanding group of records. Just one after the other. Perfect. And he also talks about everything. He goes from love to politics to the rah-rah to the, I can rap better than you. He actually did it. And we were talking about that before, how, he does that, but not very often. He did it. This album, man. This album. On One. Bust. Well, y'all check it out. But that being said, anything else that you want to tell the people?
Check in. Like you said, we doing the album review. We're going to get back. Excuse me. All our battle fans. We getting back to that too. The battle world has been pretty litty. What else? Appreciate all the support, all the subscribers.
Definitely, man. It's all about you guys.
All the new viewers. Keep checking in. We got dope shows coming. We cover all the, everything. We cover the whole spectrum. Just like Bruce mentioned, from hip hop to politics. Sports too. We get into sports too. The Packers, they looking just like the Giants. So that's why I got my Giants hat.
The Packers looking like the Giants. What? Wait,
I'm just playing with y'all. I don't want y'all to think I don't know what's going on in sports.
Whoa.
But I am a Giants fan.
No, it's obvious, man. It's obvious.
But our division is slightly different, so we can still get in the playoffs.
I would be ashamed to have said that publicly, sir. You don't get away with that. What you're gonna make it to the playoffs with a losing record? Stop it. Packers is the best team in the NFL right now.
We won Super Bowls like that.
Packers is the best team in the NFL right now, man. Just keep it like that. Just keep it like that. I thought
we was telling the truth.
Just keep it like that, man. I thought
we was telling the truth. Dang, there we go. Well, then the Giants is the best team. I thought we was telling the truth. I didn't know we was lying again.
Hey, one question. McCowan III says we should get a Discord. I'm not even sure what that is, but I'll be checking it out, man, reading what you're talking about. I'm definitely in it, bro. Yeah, whatever that is. I know. No, we're not gonna get into it, Calamite. No, we're not gonna get into it, man. I'm not gonna talk about how sorry his Giants are. There's no need for it right now. We're not gonna talk about that. We're not gonna talk about that. Nah, but listen, it's all love. This is about black unity today, man. This is
No Saquon. No Saquon. Watch us still get in the playoffs.
Oh man, that's
Watch
that.
us still get in the playoffs.
You shouldn't even be happy about that, man.
What's y'all excuse?
What excuse? We're still first in our division. Where are you? Get out of here. I'm out of here. Listen, people, appreciate you. Watch the Karen videos we put up, man. It's a good laugh. It's good fun. I narrate them, and they're blowing the poll page up. Thanks to them, we're back to being monetized. We're back to being able to talk about things that we want to talk about. You know the battles are coming back, but sometimes it's good to sit down and talk with the people about this type of stuff too, man. Politics matters, and that's what this whole show is about. So we're starting anew. D-Boy Slim, Bruce Lively. We still have Sonia as our host for the basement debates. We still got Joshua Suggs coming in periodically to help out with the debates. Nothing has changed except for the fact that we have more of you to talk to. Let's get it this year, people.
The basement. We off this.
Peace.